Rule number 1,
Bios.
always right. Rule number 2, nothing else matters because
Bios.
it's always right.
Hello everyone, my name is Bios. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be reacting to my friend suggested to me to watch this video called Do Not Buy the Nintendo Switch 2 by Beerman 3600. And this video has 1.2 million views, came out 2 weeks ago, and it's been making a lot of rounds. I've been hearing it around and everything like that. So apparently this guy goes off on Nintendo and what they're doing. That a lot of people are resonating with this, of course, because of the price increase and 80 to $90 games. Apparently Nintendo has gone back on this. I'm not too sure. But and of course, like all the pre-order issues. But recently it was announced that the Nintendo Switch will be back on pre-orders starting April 24th. And today, at the time of this recording, it is the 22nd. And this is a screenshot that my friend sent me from GameStop, basically saying that you guys can like pause it and screenshot if you want here. It's basically saying that they will be start doing. Wait, hold on. Oh, there is online. Oh shoot. Okay, I glanced at this because I kind of don't really care, but I thought it was all in store only. It's not. It's in store and online. That's kind of weird, but I'll read it out right now. So it says Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders begin in store when doors open on April 24th, 2025 and online at 11 a.m. EST on the same day. Midnight release will be held in all stores June 5th, 2025 at 12 a.m. EST, June 4, 2025 at 9 a.m. PST. GameStop will offer a transfer and trade program to seamlessly upgrade to Switch 2 without losing data. More details to come. Yada yada. So I am kind of surprised they're not doing an only in-store release because of all the scalpers and stuff like that, but I digress. So we are going to start this video and see what this guy is talking about. If you guys enjoy the content, be sure to like and subscribe, and also check out my Twitch at twitch.tv/Bios101. I stream most nights, and yeah, we have a lot of fun over there. Okay, let's get started.
I don't need an intro for this. Nintendo is an awful company. They have truly become the purest form of cancer in this entire industry, and here's why. Charging $80 for a video.
Hold on, we need. Wow, 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 8 seconds. We're only 8 seconds and he spent no time. Oh, wow. He wasted no time.
Game isn't just ridiculous, but it's dangerous. It's setting a precedent
True.
for games to cost more and more sooner and sooner. It
True.
couldn't possibly be any more anti-consumer. Nobody gives this company enough credit for how scummy they actually are and have been for years. Mario 3D World launches on Wii U for $60. Later is discounted as a Nintendo Select for $20, gets ported to Switch for $60. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze launches at $50, is discounted to $20, gets ported to Switch for $60. Luigi's Mansion 2 launches on 3DS for $40 in 2013, discounted to $20 in 2016, and gets ported to Switch for $60 in 2025.
I didn't even know they were doing that, and they put HD on it. Like, that's a big upgrade. Okay. Another thing is, especially for what he said about like how scummy the company is, apparently. Oh, Reggie. I was like, I don't remember his name, but his name is Reggie. Reggie. I think Reggie was in before Bowser, correct me if I'm wrong, for the CEO, whatever. And Reggie was talking on like a podcast of how much he would have to fight the higher ups above him on why like giving some products for free included with the Switch was very essential for customer loyalty and just to like not cater, but to build that loyalty, to like build that, like that relationship to show that, that they care about their freaking fans and customers. So, but they would always fight him on it all the time. They would fight him on it. They're like, why we made it? We don't really see the point to like, we don't see why we should give stuff for free when we made it. Their mentality is different. But my thing is that you've seen how successful that strategy has been. And then the moment Reggie leaves or whatever, I guess not that Bowser's like super official in this position. The moment he's out, and then you go ahead and try this, and now you immediately get backlash. Immediately. Like, you knew that this worked. Like, these companies make these decisions that doesn't make any sense. Like, you want money, right? And I get that you want more money, but what you were doing was working, and you knew the risk. Even if Nintendo was getting away with a lot of stuff, right? They're getting away with a lot of stuff like this, um, putting out Pokemon, and it was barely working, but it triple, quadruple sold itself and stuff like that. Okay, but why poke the bear? You know, like did they like they I mean, I am surprised that they're not really getting away with it, but, it's just funny.
I mean, what? I'm sorry, what? Are
You
you
said,
fucking
"What?"
kidding me? And let's also keep in mind that all these games are over a decade old. Charging me $60 for a 12-year-old 3DS game that used to cost $20. And it's so lazily ported that the game is filled with bugs and graphical glitches. Stop buying these games. Every dollar you spend on Nintendo is just one more reason they have to charge you more for less. You buying this is telling them that I will buy this quality of a game for this price regardless of its age. So what do we have now? Well, we have a console that meets the bare minimum. 4K output. That's something I would expect standard from a console in 2016, let alone 2025. 120 Hz. To be expected. Although it's nice to know that whatever power this thing is pumping, it ain't enough to do 4K and 120 at the same time. I guess we'll just have to wait.
Wait, hold on. What does that say? Frame rate is fixed to a maximum of 60 for 4K output. That changes that changes some that changes my opinion on the price a little bit. I didn't even see that when I was watching it on stream. Oh, by the way, the full stream is right here. It's on my channel if you guys want to check it out. Um, I didn't know that they were doing that. Holy wow.
Wait another 9 years for that. A 1080p screen, geez, I'd fucking hope so. And a few other little additions that just barely scrape the standards of today's consoles. But what about those accessories? Of course, we now have built-in game chat being accessible through the C button. With the new Switch 2 camera, you can stream your greasy face to all your loser friends over in Louisiana. But of course, a Nintendo Switch Online membership is required. So this button is completely useless unless you pay money. With a paid subscription, you get the privilege of participating in video calls featuring a shitty virtual green screen mask, 3 frames per second streaming, and only 4 minutes of latency. All for the low price of at least $20 annually and of course $50 for the Temu quality USB camera. But at
Oh, Timu quality is crazy, but so true.
the very least, now inviting friends to parties is all done on the system. No need for complicated instructions on how to use a headphone jack. Wow.
That they were freaking doing for so freaking long, and everybody allowed them to do this. I don't understand. Why do I have to use my phone? Bro, oh my god, that crap was so agitating. Like, thank God I have a PC and I have the setup to be able to talk to my friends on Discord on that Switch. But like that is crazy. That is crazy that they were doing this for so long. Granted, Nintendo always kind of had like this thing, like complicated ways to transfer and stuff like that. But for standard features is so weird. It's so weird.
It only took them 23 years. I'm glad to see people treat this like an accomplishment. But don't worry, I'm sure we can all trust that Nintendo's accessories will be made with quality components and will work flawlessly. They are the company that made these after all, and these have a long history of functioning properly, right? But now, I have a new issue. The Nintendo Switch 2 just has so many new features that have been standard for years, and the only piece of hardware I'm familiar with is this Leapfrog. So how can I learn all about these new features? Well, fret not, jackass. All you need is the Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. All for the low price of $10. Wow, remember the good old days when you would get a new console and dick around with the built-in software?
That's what I was talking about when like Reggie was fighting the higher ups to get stuff like this included in the console. So like in the previous stuff, you would get like Wii Party and stuff like that included with the console for free. And like this is literally a tutorial game. So similar to Astrobot on PlayStation. Why are they charging $10 for this? Their excuse? Because we made it and we worked hard to make it. So why shouldn't we charge for it? Okay. Okay.
These types of software are so important because they'll always be the consumer's first impressions with the system. Everyone will always remember playing around with PictoChat or DSi Sound on the DS. They'll remember playing Face Raiders and collecting puzzle pieces in the Street Pass Plaza on 3DS. You'll remember screwing around in Welcome Park on the PS Vita, the Playroom on PS4 and PSVR.
Playroom was my jam on PlayStation. Oh my gosh. And what was the one on the PS3? I forget. It's the social hub, the PlayStation social hub. That was so much fun. I wish I never shut it down.
Nintendo Land on Wii U, and of course the most famous pack-in tech demo, Wii Sports. Such a simple and
Wii
light game that
Sports.
is now cemented into pop culture. You just cannot think about the Wii without thinking about Wii Sports. And what did we just teach Nintendo? We just taught Nintendo that if you take a 16-year-old tech demo and cheaply repaint it with content missing at launch, then we will gladly pay $60 for it. Think about this, a free game from 2006, a $60 game from 2022. This is fucking disgusting. There is no soul behind this game. It's graphically unimpressive in both its art style and visual output. And you know what's sad? This isn't even the first time they did this. Go back to 2013 with Wii Sports Club and it's the same deal. Suddenly a free tech demo costs $50. At the very least, this game looks good. Everything about its visuals is just beautiful, and it felt good, like human beings with pulses worked on it. Jump ahead 10 years and you get this slop.
Human beings with pulses.
So what about the Nintendo Switch 2?
So you see, this is what I was saying, like with these companies, like they will always try, like this is what I'm trying to say. Like this is what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to spread awareness of. It does not matter who it is. This company could have the best track record known to date. Never trust them. Somehow, some way, someday, they will try to pull a fast one on you or under you. Like, just stop pre-ordering, stop getting things like day one. Like you don't, like, it's not going anywhere. You can wait a week, you can wait a month before you buy a game, even if it's multiplayer. It's not going anywhere, nowhere. Like, just throwing your money at these companies it means nothing to them. They just want your money. That's it. The moment you take that away from them is when they start like, oh, okay, now we get, like, that's so crazy and inhumane. I don't care. Like, it's the same thing with CD Projekt Red. They were so reputable for so long, and look what happened with Cyberpunk. They couldn't hold, they lied, they couldn't hold any of their promises. The same thing happened with BioWare. And it's just gonna keep happening again and again and again. And it has happened again and again. Bethesda, stop giving them your money. Stop it. They need to earn it. I don't pre-order. I don't get things day one. I sit my butt down. I see what the reviews are saying, and then I truly decide if I want to spend the money on it or not. I don't care who it is. I don't care how good they are. They will always try to pull it under you. Stop doing it. And Nintendo is it's so funny with Nintendo because everybody knows this. Everyone knows this, but they're like, it's Nintendo. I'm gonna give them $500, my entire bank account, my left liver, blah blah blah.
Does it get a tech demo? Well, the original Switch got 1-2 Switch, a $50 piece of shit that was fun one time ever, and that was when it launched and you wanted a break from Zelda. I genuinely remember the only time I had fun with this game was when everyone playing
was a
it was
baby?
laughing at how stupid it was. And hey, how about a sequel? A sequel to a tech demo that takes the idea of complete garbage and asks for another $50. So how about that Switch 2? This time around, we got Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, a tech demo more focused on the hardware and teaching you what it does and how to use it. And you have to pay for it. That is the most unbelievable shit on the planet. I'm paying $450 for your uninnovative money vacuum of a console, and then I have to pay you to teach me how to use it? Now we have game sharing, which is a nice addition, but of course it's nothing new. You've been able to play local multiplayer games by streaming your game to a friend's console on PlayStation for years now. This being an option on Switch is nice, and it even works locally, but even then, they act as if it's new. It's not even new for them. You can share your game locally to others with just one copy of the game. Wow, you mean like download play? You mean like that thing I could do 20 years ago for free on a DS?
You
And now
could?
you get this mess. Only Switch 2 systems can share games, but both generations can receive gameplay. That's nice. Remember how the 3DS had download play with other 3DS systems and DS systems? And there was just no need for any other explanation because nothing about it was confusing? Virtual game
Oh,
cards are so anti-consumer, it's ridiculous.
But what if digital games could be as flexible and convenient as game cards?
I'm sorry, what? Yeah, I'm sitting here with my digital game library confused out of my mind. Shouldn't it be the other way around? I wish that physical games could be as flexible and convenient as digital ones. If I have 3 Switches, I can download my entire digital library on all of them and play any game at any time on whichever console I choose. What about that isn't flexible and convenient? So now, all your digital games have to be loaded and unloaded from system to system every time you want to play them. Wow, well isn't that just an absolute nightmarish headache? Imagine how much fun it'll be sitting with your systems loading and unloading different games so you have what you want on the right consoles, but not at the same time. Why not just say, we don't like people sharing accounts for their game libraries because we want to sell more copies of our overpriced soulless garbage? And you gotta love how they act.
that's true. That's 100% true. That's why they make it complicated, and not as accessible because they want you to keep buying. Yep, just like with the Switch too. Instead of giving out free upgrades for the games that you already have, like, oh, you already have Pokemon, you already have Legend of Zelda, you already have Mario Kart, you already have Super Smash. Well, now that you get the Switch 2, you should automatically get the Switch to upgrade, but no, you got to pay for it. Um, or rebuy it. Because some people rebuy it, and people that have multiple Switches, and I know some of you, buy it on all the systems. Why? Oh my god.
As if this is a win for the consumers. You can hand over digital games to people within your family group for a maximum of 14 days,
14
then
days.
they lose access. Are you out of your fucking mind? I'd imagine that if you're in a family group with someone, you're probably close enough to where you wouldn't mind signing into your account on their console so they can access your entire library. So this is a great way to shove monetization into one of the most basic concepts of owning software. So with that on the way, we have even more great news.
Okay, that part is a little iffy because I've heard many stories of like people sharing stuff with people that they are supposedly close to, and something happens, whether it be they had a falling off or something, and now they no longer have access to that thing that they shared. Like they either like Netflix. Hey, have my Netflix. Well, when you could share Netflix, have my Netflix account. Cool. Oh, we're not cool anymore. I'm gonna take it back. Or they end up like stealing it. Or you like it's something happens. I'm pretty sure most people have experienced this or heard something like this. So for Nintendo to just make it 14 days is fine. So like if you are still cool, just hey, sorry, bro, like the 14 days is up. Can you reload me? Fine. You're gonna have the save data, so that's fine. I think that's okay. I think that's okay. Could it be a little longer? Like let's say 30 days? 30 days, a month would be nice. Most people can finish a game in a month, and if they forget to sign out or give it back, it comes back automatically. I don't have any problem with that.
Digital key cards. For select Switch 2 games, the cartridge will only hold the license for the game. If you want to actually play it, you have to download it with an internet connection. What in God's name is going on anymore? I've seen people try to defend this, saying that most people are spreading misinformation, but there is nothing to argue with. This is directly from Nintendo's website. Game key cards are different from regular game cards because they don't contain the full game data. Instead, the game key card is your quote-unquote key to downloading the full game to your system via the internet. Not DLC, not partial data, the entire full game. The game itself isn't included on the game key card. If you want to claim that this is just this generation's way of selling game cases with a download code inside, you are wrong. This is a code for a game that is staying on my console. This is a physical game card with a license on it that is the only way I am allowed to access my downloaded game. But this way, you can share digital games. Wow, so like a physical game except there's nothing in this. That is the scenario that people are trying to defend. The scenario that Nintendo has given themselves and developers the option to have control over the license of not only your digital games, but now your physical games too. Truly incredible. Nothing is yours anymore. So the
This is something that my my cousin that I do the podcast with, I'm gonna also put a little thing up here. Me and him kind of talk about the Switch too, if you guys haven't seen it. So that's another pop-up right there. Um this is something that he talks about for a long time, and he actually convinced me a while ago, back when we were like talking about physical and digital games back on PlayStation. It's like there's no point because the disc, even if you have a disc, that licensing on that disc is nothing. You don't really own the game. And they've already done a thing where you can buy a case with a game on it, for example, that I have next to me, like No Man's Sky, right? Like, for example, you can get something like this and it will have nothing inside, like he showed, and it's just like a code, you know? And then, like, basically the game does not belong to you. Like, they can decide to take that crap back whenever they want, or if something happens to the company or, the division, they shut down, that's it. You don't have that game forever anymore, like we used to have on the, like maybe the early days of the PS3, PS2, and Xbox 360, et cetera, et cetera. You know? So, and there's like, it seems that there's just nothing being done about that. There's like I know that there's a bit of a push, but there's really, like, clearly it's not enough. Like, game preservation itself is a huge struggle.
Console will only have 256 gigabytes of storage, which is practically nothing in today's day and age. But make sure you reserve extra space for games because no longer will you be able to just play off the game cartridge. You'll need the space too. Stock up on those micro SD cards because Hogwarts Legacy is going to end up eating 25% of your console's storage, no questions asked. And how fun will it be to take your new game home and watch it slowly download with a slow internet connection because not everyone lives in some massive suburbia where high download speeds are the norm. This has nothing on it but a license. And although
That's a good point. They are really alienating a lot of people. Because not everybody, like you said, not everybody has fast internet. This is a weird time.
this doesn't apply to all games, there are already many that are confirmed to be using it and expect more to be on the way. Ultimately, what this tells me is that years from now, when the Nintendo Switch 2 servers are shut down, these cards will mean absolutely nothing because there's nothing on them. Generations from now, if you buy a Switch 2, there will be so many games you just can't play because you should have existed in the period of time you could download them in. This one is so frustrating. GameCube games are coming to Switch 2 only if you pay for the online expansion pack. Okay. And of course, there's going to be a Bluetooth GameCube controller released.
And that's part of the thing where people are saying, I don't care, just let me pay for it. Let me pay for it. And
But obviously, you can still just use the Joy-Cons. But what about those triggers? Somehow we've gone yet another generation of Nintendo consoles without analog triggers. Another generation where the triggers are just buttons. So how are some games going to be played with the Joy-Cons? Because in many games like Mario Sunshine and Luigi's Mansion, both of which are being advertised, pressing the trigger all the way and pressing the trigger a little do completely different actions. Does anyone in this company communicate? Does anyone know what's going on? This is the right hand not knowing what the left hand's doing. As if you'll go as far as to make GameCube games a launch title, but still not bother using the industry standard for your controller even though the 20-year-old controller you have to reproduce has it? What?
oh, it does?
How
But
about
not
game
but not the Switch 2?
upgrades? You guys like spending more money on things you already paid for? This one is so absurd I don't even know where to begin. What if, imagine this, all the poorly optimized Switch games that run at 30 FPS at best in 720p could be played normally without us making the effort to actually optimize them for the hardware they were originally developed for. And then we can charge you for it. Games will run at improved resolutions and frame rate. You mean the resolutions and frame rates they should be running at in the first place if you put more effort into properly optimizing them? I'd love to know what black magic was used that made the Thousand Year Door run at a flawless 60 FPS on my GameCube in 2004, but couldn't be used 20 years later to make its HD remaster run at a consistent 30. Maybe there just is no point in spending money optimizing games when people will just buy them anyway. And finally, the elephant in the room. $80 fucking dollars for a video game. On no planet can you defend this. This has nothing to do.
Now, once again, apparently they've gone back on this. Apparently. I haven't fully checked. My friend showed it to me when I went to his house the other day. That they have gone back on it, but once again, not fully known. If you guys are watching, you put it down in the comments. That would be wonderful.
With tariffs, you can come up with every excuse in the book, but on no planet in the solar system was poor old Nintendo forced to charge you $80 for a digital game and
They
were forcing
weren't.
to be $90 for a physical
They
game
weren't.
so they could keep their starving CEOs off the street living in a
Mm-hmm.
box. That is fucking disgusting. $80 for a game that is graphically less impressive than most Wii titles I can think of that are going for a similar style.
It looks the same. It looks the same. There's nothing new from this Mario Kart game than their past ones. It looks the same. Like, where is it?
That is absolutely abhorrent. Nintendo has become the illumination of the gaming industry, adopting the same ideology as them when they animate movies. How can you develop a game as cheaply and quickly as possible? Nintendo seems to love this disgustingly soulless art style that clearly requires very minimal processing power to render without much issue. You see it in
True.
Mario Kart World, you see it in Nintendo Switch Sports, you see it in Princess Peach Showtime, Mario and Luigi Brothership, and you're seeing it in upcoming games like Donkey Kong Bonanza and Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. This soulless pastel-y art style that looks like the standard for an iOS game in 2014. So unbelievably unimpressive and terrible looking. It has nothing to do with a vision or the choice of art direction. You can go for a cartoony or even
I do want the Tomodachi World for the memes, though. When they started talking, I lost my mind. I was like, this is a gag. Like, this is so funny. Oh my goodness.
cel-shaded aesthetic and still make it look beautiful. You saw it on Wii U, you saw it on 3DS, you saw it literally everywhere. This is not beautiful. This is not visually impressive, and they expect you to pay $80 for it, and pay even more for physical, which is such a scummy way of forcing players who need to save money where they can into switching over to digital. Forget DRM, digital games means no money spent on producing, no money spent on shipping, and most important of all, no commission to any retailer. Every penny going directly to the biggest pieces of shit in the industry. It seems that the full price of Switch 2 games will be either $70 or $80 digitally. But just take a look at these prices. Are you fucking kidding me? $70 for Breath of the Wild with a Switch 2 upgrade. Didn't this game come out almost 10 years ago? And now it costs more? How does that work? Tears of the Kingdom, $80. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, $80. Mario Party Jamboree, $80. I'd really love to know what makes Nintendo think Mario Party Jamboree has appreciated in value by $20 since it came out. All it needed was 3 new shitty minigames that utilize the new system's gimmicks. Maybe just develop new games for your system? Maybe when your launch lineup is a cheap-looking Mario Kart, a paid tech demo, and 3 25-year-old GameCube games, you should think more about actually developing new video games rather than selling me an 11-year-old game a third time. I've seen people post pictures like this or say that PlayStation was the first to do paid upgrades, and to that I say, yeah? Is anyone defending those? I certainly haven't seen anyone defending those. What kind of dumbass logic is that?
I hate when people do that. Oh, well, PlayStation was doing it. So what? So what? The argument is still the same. We don't want it. We don't want that. You bringing it up like, oh, but they were doing it for you doing that is defending this. You are defending the actions of the current times that we do not want. Stop doing it. Think for yourself. That's one thing that I try to advocate on my channel. Think for yourself. No matter who you're watching, no matter who you like online and whatever, even if it's me, even somebody else, think for yourself and think critically. That's why I always say I do not pre-order. I don't invest in any of that stuff. I don't care who it is. If I like a game enough to buy it, I'll buy it eventually. Something could like it's not a life or death situation. There's plenty of indie games out there that you can get and stuff like that. And like it's not a thing, you know, it's games today, it's not how they used to be. There's no soul like there was before. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much. This video's already getting long.
Don't like paying for cheap-looking, overpriced games anywhere. I don't like paying to play the same game again, this time with a raised frame rate cap. Nintendo doesn't need to charge $80 for Mario Kart because of tariffs. Nintendo doesn't need to charge $70 for Breath of the Wild again because of inflation.
Yes, all of that is before tariffs. All of this is before tariffs. Tariffs have nothing to do with this. Tariffs is just after the fact of the Nintendo Switch console costing between $5 to $1,000 possibly. But tariffs are going on and off right now. All of this is standard pricing, the 450, the 80 and the 90. All of that is standard. That has nothing to do with tariffs. And anyone saying so, what do you call it? What is it? What is it? They're lying to themselves. Whatever. They're lying. Point blank period.
Inflation. And Nintendo doesn't need to charge anything for a tech demo because something that looks like this just costs too much money to develop. They should start taking donations because the morons defending this could then just wire their paycheck directly to them instead of giving them the burden of making Breath of the Wild run in 1080p. And honestly, in today's economy, by the time you boot up your first game on this thing, you'll be refinancing your car. The console costs $450 USD, $500 for the Mario Kart bundle. Over in Japan, the base system without Mario Kart costs roughly $350 USD. What's the catch? Well, the system is Japan only and is region locked to only Japanese Nintendo accounts. If you want access to other language and region options, then you'll need to cough up the full $450. It doesn't get any more anti-consumer than that. Anyone hoping to save money by importing won't be able to because the system is region locked. I would love to know the reason why the multilingual system costs what is roughly equivalent to $450 USD everywhere in the world, but the Japanese only version that's only available in Japan costs $350. So essentially, you're paying $100 for the privilege of using other languages. Wow, that's some expensive DLC. And the system is not being manufactured in Japan, just showing that the console itself isn't valued at $450.
Nintendo's consoles would be produced and assembled by Foxconn. Oh. At a new 263.7 million factory in the northern province of Quang Ninh. Oh my gosh. Freaking Vietnam. What? A lot of things are. Foxconn produces a lot of stuff.
Here's the exact same thing, but $100 less, except only Japanese. Tariffs have nothing to do with them choosing to release a Japanese-only console for less, or charging $100 more for language options outside the US. They're just coming up with these prices because fuck you. There is no expensive chip they have to put in this console to add language options. I'd like to never spend more than $60 on a video game, and I want the entire industry to know that, because I don't want to pay $80 for a video game, you fucking idiot. Thank God morons like this exist so these billionaire and trillionaire companies
Nintendo has done it. They cut up to the industry. My heart sank. They caught up to the industry standard and have a hybrid console with tons of exclusive IPs. I think they won. Oh my god.
companies can continue to screw over all the normal people with functioning brains who don't want to dig
Sick of Sony's terrible, greedy business practices, 70 games, director cuts, $10 upgrades, weak console, limited back compatibility, Nightmare SSD, no 1440p support, terrible PS4/5 game upgrade system, stripping away heatsink for profit.
into their
But yet, when Nintendo does it, it's fine.
savings account so they can play a Mario Kart in the year 2025 that looks like this.
By the same person? I'm 100% buying Nintendo Switch at launch. Wow. You see? They oh my god.
Wow, all that extra power is really being put to use, I see. To be a person as stupid as this must be blissful. Justifying
100% getting this bundle, and I will get my $80 worth. If you think about it, if you take your significant other to the movies, oh my god. If you take your significant other to the movies and get popcorn and drinks, you could end up spending near $80 for a one-time experience. At least you could play a game for 100 plus hours, whereas a movie may whatever. That's crazy.
$80 by comparing it to eating food. So you want to pay $80 for a game. You're cool with new big releases costing $80 fucking dollars. You would think these are like industry plants. Nintendo should just start charging $100 instead because idiots like this will find some batshit way to justify it. Just donate your money to them at this point. You can't fit their entire cock in your mouth. So ultimately, what can we do? Well, we can just simply not buy it. It's that simple. Vote with your dollar.
And that's... Let me let it play.
When you give Nintendo money for a game that launches with no content or is unfinished, or for a game that's a port of a title over 10 years old that used to be $20 and is suddenly $60, or money for a game that is so poorly optimized that the absolute best you can expect is an inconsistent 30 frames per second. That's you telling them that I, the consumer, will give you money for this regardless of its quality. I will buy Luigi's Mansion 2 on Switch even though it was $20 on a 3DS and was ported with bugs and graphical oversights. I will give you $300 for a console so poorly designed that it scratches my screen when I dock it, has $80 controllers with connectivity issues that often cease to function over time, has UI that looks like someone made it in Adobe Adobe Illustrator in 9 minutes, acts as a portal to the world's laggiest and most unstable web-based online storefront, and has a library
true.
of poorly optimized games, half of which are being resold for the second or third time, and the other half comprised of cheap, soulless shovelware quality garbage with no polish, nothing memorable, and absolutely no passion or love anywhere to be found in it. Buggy messes that you are being sold as is because you'll buy it anyway. Do not buy the Switch 2. Do not buy its $90 controllers or its $80 games. Do not buy its shitty camera or its $35 piece of plastic controller charger. Do not act like this is an upgrade. UI that went from uninspired to uninspired with a few more circles. Do not pay $20 for game upgrades that act as a paid 60 FPS patch or a subscription that gives you temporary access to them. And do not buy a $450 glorified Switch 1 with nothing but corporate greed at the heart of it. Buying this not only lets Nintendo know how far they can push the boundaries of laziness, but ultimately supports a company that, in its current state, is making billions off of doing the absolute bare minimum. Years ago, when Nintendo games came out, whether they were good or bad, you could see that 99% of them were always made by people who genuinely cared and were encouraged to do so. Directed by people focused on quality and enjoyment value over development time and costs. Games made with love that contained the soul of the development team that worked on them, acting as somewhat of a portal to a vision, whether or not that vision is very fun. And today you have this. In 2015, when Satoru Iwata died, the worst thing that could possibly happen to the company happened. For the first time ever, Nintendo was being run by a businessman, not a player. Not by someone who cared from day one and was there for everything every step of the way, or by someone with a genuine interest for the product, but by someone whose job it is to make money and that's it. Nothing else matters as long as the company is as profitable as it can be. And that businessman chose another businessman to succeed him. And how much you want to bet that that businessman will be succeeded by another businessman? I honestly think the days of Nintendo being the most authentic company in the industry are long gone and never coming back. People have complaints about everyone. Xbox and their annoying use of your data, PlayStation's anti-consumer practices and poor design, EA's microtransactions, Ubisoft's abuse of DRM. But genuinely,
Oh,
in complete seriousness, just ask yourself, what makes Nintendo any better than these companies? What is making Nintendo not the worst company in the industry in your mind? Because if you ask me, they've become the biggest cancer of the industry. Not only are they doing everything other companies are shunned for and more, but they're getting away with it. What is, without a doubt, the most influential video game company that has ever existed and will ever exist is setting the precedent that consumers will buy anything, and the other companies will follow. As the consumer, your voice is the most important because none of these companies would exist if you weren't giving them your money. Demand more. When so many companies are fighting for your dollar, why shouldn't they fold to your standards? When Xbox first announced the Xbox One and boasted about its online requirements, its unnecessary use of Kinect, and all the other little things that made people hate it, like the lack of being able to share your games, people made fun of them. And so did the industry. Sony
Yep.
famously taunted them with this
Yep.
short video on their website.
This is how you share your games with
Yep. Step 1. You hand them the game.
Thanks.
And they won.
Microsoft was spiteful. People were happy with their 360s and wanted a reason to move on to the next big thing. And no one said it better than the idiot trying to get us to buy it, Don Matrick, while trying to defend the Xbox One.
Fortunately, we have a product for people who aren't able to get some form of connectivity. It's called Xbox 360.
If it doesn't look good, then don't pay $500
And the people at Nintendo said the exact same thing. They said the same thing.
for it. Do not support this company. Nintendo is not one of the good guys. Nintendo in its current state is the greediest, laziest, and most dangerous corporation in the entire industry. And the only thing that's going to make them change is seeing you spend your money elsewhere. So while you dipshits play your crappy platformer tech demo that costs $0.00 on that piece of shit PS5, I'll enjoy paying full price for my disabled wheelchair basketball game that utilizes the mouse function of the Joy-Con 2. This industry needs another crash like it had in 1983. Every one of these companies needs a wake-up call to start over from the ground up and remember what made their products good in the first place.
Amen.
Don't spend your money on soulless, overpriced garbage with zero innovation. Save your money and force the industry to do a 180. The only way to get better products is by not paying for them when they're bad. When the asking price is $450 with $80 a game, don't settle for the bare minimum. Please do not buy this product or support this company when they treat you like a walking wallet with no brains. I'm Bearman, and I've been wasting your time. Thanks for watching.
What a good outro. And I've been wasting your time. That was good. I gave him a like. That is a good video. But the thing about it is that he's very much right. The only way to get any change is to not buy it. Don't spend the money. You don't have to. But the problem is a lot of people will. And if enough people do, we're just gonna keep we're just gonna keep sliding backward while they're just collecting the money, laughing in our faces, and doing worse and worse and worse. I try to think that, Twitter people on Twitter are part of like the 1% or so compared to like everybody else, but the way that it's been happening, the way that these companies have been acting, it shows that there are a lot of people who think these same sentiments and will make excuses for this. And it's really sad. It's really sad. The moment I heard that they were going to be charging $80, well, excuse me, $90, if you guys see on our podcast, I was like, what? The rest of the industry is going to try it. It's going to be quick and soon. And people are already saying that GTA 6 is going to be around $100 possibly. So if they get a jump start, it's over. Gaming is no longer a hobby, it is a luxury. A luxury. Well, that was this episode. Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments on what you think about the situation. Do you guys think that we'll be able to come back from this? Nintendo did get some backlash, but And I do have more videos to come. We are like currently looking at Marathon, not Anthem, Marathon. And we're currently checking out news on Marathon to see if it'll make it to launch. There's like been some interesting stuff happening over there. And let me know if there's anything else you guys want me to react to. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.